President now heading to a G20 summit as the U.S. is warning North Korea of the possibility of war, and that indeed we would go to it if this keeps accelerating with these missile tests that are deemed very serious, very threatening. Experts see a lot of different paths that could get us in a conflict here. To the former National Security Advisor to Vice President Dick Cheney, John Hanna, on that threat that has clearly escalated. I guess the question now, John, is what do we do? Because it's pretty clear the North Koreans know that they can keep rattling the saber, and we say a lot of threatening things and say this is it, this is it, this is it, but life goes on. What do you think?
Yeah, no, and it's clear that the Chinese have basically ignored our warnings as well, and ignored the best attempts by the president to actually come to some understandings with them about exercising some real leverage on the North.
So what do we do then, John? I mean, because I guess we had deemed and known that this test was coming, and we did not interfere or try to shoot it down because we didn't think it would be a threat to us. It turns out that hunch was right, but eventually it will be. And what I always worry about is the possibility of a missile going off course or tumbling on land or escalating needlessly by way of an accident, something horrific. Then what?
Yeah, no, that's always an enormous danger here. But the decision to take a shot at one of these things is also a great risk for the United States. First, you got to be pretty sure you're going to hit it, because a miss obviously opens up all kinds of possibilities for North Korea and undermines the credibility of America's deterrent. I think, Neil, here the move now by the president, and he's hinting at this, is to begin to come down like a ton of bricks on the Chinese and basically be willing to really go after Chinese financial system and Chinese institutions that are continuing to give the North Koreans access to the global financial system. That's got to stop.
So I always wonder when you hear these type of developments, what we're going to do. I mean, the Chinese clearly have either strung us along or outright lied to us. So otherwise, they wouldn't have given 20% more this year versus last year to the North Koreans. So if we get tough on them, the fear is, and I'm sure you remember this back to the Bush administration days and when you were working with the vice president, that, hey, the Chinese might stop buying our debt. They've largely slowed that to a crawl, but they might start selling a lot more, and then our rates go up. You know the drill.
Yeah, no, I mean, we really are coming to a crunch point, Neil, here, where there are no good options. And the decision is whether you're going to let this crazy regime be able to hold hostage major American cities and forever change the kind of calculus we've had geopolitically in Northeast Asia for more than 70 years, whether you're going to be willing to tolerate that or whether we think we need to suffer some measure of economic pain. This is important enough to the United States strategically to be able to combat this threat that we're willing to go toe-to-toe with China and demonstrate that they need our access, they need the dollar, they need the American economic system more than we need China. It's a real risk. It's going to come at high cost, Neil. But I'm afraid we're getting to that point in that awful Hobson's choice.
You would think that China would appreciate this, know this, understand the threat from all of this. Yet all of its actions have been in response to the joint exercises we had with the South Koreans, that was deemed provocative. And I thought that was a little bit pot calling the kettle black there, but that they are not going to relinquish this. They are not going to cool it on this.